Hey, Spring Arbor students. How are you today? I hope your week is going well. Welcome to week 5. This is the update for MBA 602 and 694 for the week 5 overview. Let's see, just a couple of quick notes about 602 for this week. 602 this week, you're going to be studying, working on comparing means between two different populations. And in one case, the populations might be the same and you'll be using normal distributions, semi-normal distributions. And in the other case of testing, um, for comparing the means, you'll be using what would be called a non-parametric comparison test. And it would be things you'd have to, there are sometimes when distributions are not normal, they have like the tails on them, either left or right skew. And so both, all three chapters that you're looking at this week cover that. I think it's chapters 10, 11, and 12. So you're comparing means. Now, where this might be helpful is, let's say that you have a problem and you're studying a particular variable in the work context, let's say in the business context. And so you've got some level of a variable and you want to change that level either up or down. So you design like an intervention. So you do a sample beforehand, you design and implement an intervention, and then you measure that sample after the intervention. Okay. And so you compare the two, you compare the statistics beforehand and after the intervention to see if you actually made a change. And in most cases, you want to know that the probability of the change that you experienced is actually due to the intervention that you put in. So sometimes things change, you might do an intervention, but you might get a different variable reading because of something not related to your design of your intervention. So let's see, figure 10.15 is something to check out. It's a roadmap on how to use or when to use the different types of hypothesis testing that they talk about in chapters 10. Similarly, in chapter 12, there's figure 12.15, and it's a roadmap for when to use the different non-parametric tests where you may have to use left and right. Because of a left and right skew, you may have to use some different tests. So both figures 10.15 and figure 12.15 are very helpful in knowing which tests to run and which conditions. Again, make sure you read the chapters, but you're also watching those videos. They're pretty helpful. Okay, let's talk about 694 for a minute. This week, so speaking of sample sizes and studying samples and that sort of thing, like what we did last week in 602, in 694 this week, we're going to write about it for your particular research project. And this is something like the overview of your research methodology, just the overview of it and your study sample size and that sort of thing is covered in chapter 1 in your research paper, the introduction section. And the thing you have to know about that, this is just an overview of the methodology. Some of you have already written about that because you've been using the template. And you're going to be identifying the population and the sample size. And in chapter 3, which we get to in a different course, LCS course, you'll write extensively about your methodology. In chapter 1 that we're working on right now in this course, it's just an introduction of the methodology as well as a discussion of the population and the sample size and how you pick the sample size. And so I've updated the writing template, and it's included with the class announcement that's going out with this video. And that writing template now includes I think there are 3 questions from the syllabus embedded into chapter 1 underneath the section that talks about research methodology and design. It's a subsection in chapter 1 or the introduction portion. So take a look at that. I think that's probably it for right now. If you have not scheduled regarding 694, if you have not scheduled yet a time to do a Zoom meeting with me, take the time to do that. There's about 4 or 5 of you left that have not done that. And again, it's optional, but it will help you, I think, like narrow down your project into a smaller, well-contained project. And I want to help you be able to do that. And during the exercise when we get together and during the Zoom meeting, I also help you develop a graph or rather a figure that you can use for your theoretical framework. The theoretical framework is one of those subsections in chapter 1 that has to be completed by the end of this 7-week term that we're in right now. And I'm finding some of you know about it and some of you don't. So let me help you with that. Schedule a time to Zoom with me, a Zoom meeting with me, and we'll work our way through that kind of stuff. I think it'd be helpful for you. Okay, that's it. Have a great week, and I'm praying for all of you. You're doing all very well, and yeah, hang in there and keep going. All right, don't give up yet. Thanks.